Alright, I'm going to start this week with my steps that go up to the living room. I had scrap plywood left over from my cabinets. It's already been weighed, so I'm trying to use as much wood that I've already weighed. So what I did is I put a seam right across here and screwed it. Luan's going over the top of that like the rest of it, so I don't have to worry about that looks. All the rest of the wood are 2x4 scraps that I cut to a little bit wider than an inch to go side by side. Now the weight of the steps will be mostly on these. I put these up for Luan that I put on the front that I paint, and then the bottom, like I did on the other side, the last step will flip up. I'm trying not to have a lot of rise on these steps, so I added one more step out that flips. My wife's got bad knees and a bad back, so that'll be easier for her to get up and down. But and then this side, I just took more of the scrap because it's going to be on the inside, and this will hold the weight. Also too, gives me an opportunity to screw into the wall where I have studs. And I just laid those pieces on top of the side I had constructed, and I used my pocket hole tool and just pocket holed it together and made an exact duplicate of the other side. So this stairs did not add any weight to my tiny house. Like I said, this has already been weighed, and I don't like adding any unnecessary weight. It may look like crap now, but once you get it covered up, you won't know the difference. And this is the place to use your scrap wood. I don't throw any scrap. I don't care how small it is. I save it. Put it over there, and 2x4s I'll rip to what width I need. And that way, also too, I have a stud that runs down about the center, and then I'll be able to screw that, and then these ones here on the bottom will screw down. The vent, my fresh air exchange in the tiny house, I will cut out a hole here, and then I'll put my vent, and that's this side over here. But I have to situate where my heater is going to sit so I can get to the damper adjustment. So during the summer I can go ahead and shut it off a little bit and not need as much fresh air. Alright, so I should be posting more. Alright, a little bit more on my steps. Every bit of this was built out of scraps. My scrap pile is really starting to dwindle down. This will be the front, and it'll also have a step that flips down. I've got it over there by the saw. Where I didn't have enough wood, I went ahead and put a 1x4 on the back side and glued it, because we're going to put carpet on our steps for our English Bulldog. I'll have a little bit of traction to be able to get up into the living room. I'll sand that off. Our heater is going to orient. Let's get this up. Alright, I got it up. Our heater is going to mount on the steps, and I put the fresh air vent, and you guys had watched my previous ones. I cut the vent in the floor, and then my heater will cover all the way to this line right here, and then I can still get to the vents and open and close these and adjust them as needed. During the summer I probably won't need them as much, and the heater will be pulling air through there through a fresh air duct that goes through the bottom of the floor, so I can shut it off and still get to that. So that worked out really well. And then I went ahead and isolated this. I'll probably up front, when I get done, I'm going to cut a opening and make a door, because this is a big area here to waste as far as storage goes. So I'll when I get it installed, I'll cut it. Up here I've pretty much written off. There's just no way that I can get to it, and I wanted my steps to be glued down real well. The only one I'm not gluing down is this step here, because when I get it in place, I've got to be able to reach down and do some work. My gas line will come out somewhere across in here, come across to the shutoff valve, and go to a 90 on the bottom of the heater and point up. So everything will be tucked right nice and low underneath the heater, and I'll have a 90 that goes through there. And then my gas line will go, sorry about that, my compressor kicked on. And like I was saying, the gas line will go across here somewhere and down through the floor. I just have to pick out where I need to do it. I've got to watch out for frame rails and flooring joists, so I'll pick out a spot. And then if I ever need to get, also I can get through by pulling that off if I have to take the heater off. So this thing did not add any extra weight because it's total scraps. Because I'm trying to keep my weight down, and everywhere I can, I'll do it. Alright, I'm working to get my steps that flip up worked on. I'm getting them sanded so I can paint them. I'm going to patch some holes. Got some across the back. This side will flip up, and down here is where I'll be putting another door for storage. I've got my small, I got one step that's going to flip up going into the living room to help my wife with her back. She needs a few more steps, so that's why we went with the flip ups. And baby Jesus was smiling on me. The owner of my business, she put wood flooring in her bedroom, and she liked it so much that she put it in all the rest of her other rooms. So she gave away a bunch of this to us at work and some other people, and it's Stainmaster carpet, and it's almost brand new. And it came with the good padding, Stainmaster padding, and she is one of the cleanest ladies. She keeps everything immaculate. The owner, she keeps her Mercedes and her Expedition, she would give car guys a run for their money how good she takes care of her stuff, and her house is beautiful and immaculate. She keeps it very clean. So this carpet, although it's probably about 3 or 4 years old, this was in the guest room, so it hardly ever got used. I'm going to cut off what I need, and there's a lady at work that wants what I have left over. And the lady, the boss at work that I work for, she used to be in the flooring business, and she's got somebody who'll come out and install it and do a good job. I've got to finish my base trim in my bedroom before I do that, in the window casings in there. I'll do that, and then I'll have them come do the carpet, because up there will be pretty much be done, and I don't want to be up there on top of this carpet. So this is the tedious stuff. Progress seems to not want to go forward too fast doing this, but it's got to be done. I've got to run my gas lines and things like that, but with it raining, I'm not going to mess with it this weekend, I don't believe. I got enough painting and finish work like this that I can do. And I've got to put the trim around the bottom where my toilet goes and paint some corner molding, and then I'll go ahead and set the toilet base and get it in place and plumb it in. So won't be an exciting weekend, but it'll be productive. Alright, if my brother's watching, Mike, I did what you said. I told you I wouldn't make that mistake twice. Alright, I got the flip up steps almost done. I've got a little bit more sanding to do and paint them. I'll wait till I do the final fitment on it. Whenever I get on my trim put up and carpet, then I'll go ahead and tweak them then, but I'll have them painted and set off to the side. So they're done. Everything worked out good on that. Alright, I got the steps that I have to put in place. I've gotten those done. You can see down there at the bottom where the vent's going to be at, and the heater goes on the side. Those are ready to mount. All I have to do is just run some copper for the gas lines. Over here on this side, I've got the insides painted, first coat. I have to drill some pocket holes for the trim, but those are almost done. And also, my plumbing's done. No drips anywhere. That worked out good. I don't think I've shown my sink that we used. Let me turn the light on. Alright. We used a vessel sink. It was just made sense for what little space we had. So this one worked out really good. No drips or anything on that. And we went ahead and set the toilet. We've got the supply lines back there. With this floor being about an 1/8 inch thick and it's foam, I'm going to let it compress the foam and do a final torque on the bolts, and I'll let that sit for a few days. But that I don't know if I'm going to like this 1.6 flush though. Tank fills really fast. Everything worked out good. Trick man's using that Teflon and everything. And I did get the trim put down around the base. Got the microwave out of the way. I've got to paint the upper cabinet now that I've got the vent for the microwave in place. It's ready to go. I'll get that painted, and then I'll start on some more trim work on my cabinets, my closet / steps, and then I still have to do my bedroom, get ready for that carpet that was given to me. The shower, only thing I have to do is at that very bottom front leading edge and down at the end, I've got to caulk that down. And what I used on the vessel sink, there are no bolts or anything. I used an adhesive caulk and let it sit. That thing is glued down there good. If you ever have to take it up, you just take your drain out and then use a piece of nylon string and just cut back and forth, and you can cut it loose if you need to. And another note, I don't think I've mentioned, on the bottom of this piece here, I painted it with 3 coats of polyurethane in case any moisture would try to get into it. And also on the cooktop, I did the same thing. On the cutout, I went ahead and while I had it out, put 3 coats of polyurethane, and I did the sink the same way. As I've seen some of these countertops come loose a little bit when you get a little tiny leak. It gets up underneath that lip. And I still have plumber's putty oozing out. I'm going to wait and let it finish up. Got some on the back here. I put so much up underneath it I knew it ooze out the top and the bottom. I wanted a good seal on that thing. So I'll be back, unfortunately, back to doing trim work. I got a little break doing some plumbing. I don't mind plumbing, it's not too bad. Alright, well I'll see y'all till next time. Have a good one.